Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. We are really excited to be here with you guys today. It is a great day. Hopefully you're having a killer Monday, or you had a killer Monday so that you could focus today and this morning on maybe a little bit on the business, because that's kind of what we're talking about. We're always talking about how you as entrepreneurs can make sure you focus a little more on the business and the things that matter the most. And we do talk about that a lot, but we talk about a lot of things because business is not just business. It incorporates, as an entrepreneur, your personal life. It incorporates employees and, all sorts of things that you don't even realize are going to pop up when you decided to become an entrepreneur, thinking that you were going to work less, make more, and have all this amazing time with your family. Well, shocker. Newsflash. If you're new, just know that's not what happens. If you're old, you're laughing with us and you understand. So today we're talking about a really good one. It's called decision fatigue in your business. See, a lot of business owners, after so long, they start to run mentally on low fumes. Like their mental capacity is getting low and they are just having a hard time. And so what we want to do is kind of reveal this silent business killer that you might not even realize is holding you back, which is that business fatigue. And so if you think about it, I mean, goodness gracious, you could make 35,000 decisions in a single day, right? And that could really just drain you. So we want to kind of go through this and talk about how to maybe beat that mental fatigue and get you guys up and running and motivated and amped again. So Troy, let's dive in. Let's get this done, boy.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, have you ever felt like you've run a marathon, but all you really did was answer some emails, decided on what to eat for lunch, and maybe make a few business decisions? Well, that's called decision fatigue, right? Yeah. And like Trevor said, there's research that shows that, people can make up to 35,000 decisions in a single day. And so it's no wonder that we're, mentally exhausted when we're doing that. In fact, I think it was Steve Jobs was the first one I knew about, but I know, I think even from Zuckerberg from Facebook, he took on his principle, which was Steve Jobs. If you remember, he always wore jeans and a black turtleneck, and every single day. And someone asked him, why do you always wear the same thing every single day? And he's like, I have so many decisions I have to make in a day that I don't need to waste my decision power on what I'm going to put on for clothes. So and I thought about that and I'm like, okay, that's not a huge decision, but when you're making 35,000 decisions in a day, one less is, a big deal.
Well, and if you think about that, we've all experienced where we go home and our spouse wants to go on a date or something or go grab some food and they're like, where do you want to go? And you're like, I don't care. And they're like, well, I don't care either, whatever you want. And you're like, dude, no, literally, I have made so many decisions today. I don't want to make another decision. And in fact, if you make me make this decision, my decision is going to be to get my pajamas on and crawl into bed. I'm going to skip dinner tonight.
Exactly. So what is decision fatigue? It's basically mental exhaustion from making too many decisions, right? And this, leads to poor judgment and slower thinking. So, I want you to think about a small business owner, right? You got to make decisions on hiring, pricing, marketing, scheduling, and maybe you're doing all that before lunch, so by the time you eat lunch, man, you're already decisioned out. You don't even want to make any more decisions for the rest of the day. Right. So, what you want to do is, and here's kind of the thing. Think about as you go throughout your day, early in the day, choices feel easier, right? You're like, oh yeah, do this, do that. Right. But by afternoon, you start defaulting to, whatever's easiest or whatever's best. You make that decision. Exactly. We start pushing those decisions off because we have decision fatigue, kicking in by that afternoon. And we don't want to run our business with decision fatigue. So, because here's the thing, the reason this is such a problem in your business is because it really does impact the quality, right? Those poor decision-making leads to costly mistakes in your business, right? The bad decisions you make today or this afternoon are going to affect tomorrow. And Trevor always says, 6 months, 8 months down the road. So, you've got to make sure that when you're making important decisions that you are focused and that you're in the right mindset. And we're going to kind of talk about some ways to do that. But it really will impact the quality of the decision you make. Also, those important strategic decisions get postponed a lot of times because you're mentally drained. How many times have you said, okay, I got to make this decision? You're like, I'm just too tired. I can't do it. I'll do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes the next day and the next day and the next day. And pretty soon, no decision has been made for weeks. And you may have even lost opportunities over that, right? So, and that causes slower growth in your business. So, that's another way that can definitely impact your business in a negative way. And again, missed opportunities, right? So, that fatigue makes you default to either, no, I'm not going to do it, or I'll do it later, right? And either later never comes or later is too late. And you miss out on those opportunities.
It's true.
So, and I've seen this with like partnerships. Like a business owner will keep delaying a key partnership decision, that like maybe, setting up a partnership with somebody or something like that, because they've already spent so much time making other decisions, right? And that they kind of just push those things off. And then those partnerships affect them, right? I know we've had that in our business where we've kind of been slow to launch a partnership. And afterwards we're like, oh my gosh, like that partnership was the best thing ever. I wish we'd have done this months ago.
Yeah.
But again, that decision fatigue can kind of steal those great opportunities away from us. And again, they have, rippling effects, right? So team productivity, your customer service, and especially your stress levels. Like, I don't know about you, but when I have a decision that I need to make, but I'm not making the decision, my stress levels just keep going up, right?
Yeah.
Until the decision's made. And then you kind of get into the point where you're like, oh, well, now if I make the wrong decision, what's that going to do to us? And then you even push it off further, right? Because you don't want to make the decision. So another thing to think about there. So we're going to talk about real quick 5 strategies to reduce decision fatigue and make better choices in your business. So number 1, this one's not going to surprise you. Automate small stuff, right? So you should not be making decisions about like systems and templates and things like that. You should automate those systems, have those templates ready to go, because automating and having automation tools in place is going to save you brain power, right? You don't have to think about what am I going to send out? What am I going to say in this email, right? The email's automated. It's automatically going to go out, right? And it's going to have the right messaging behind it because
one real quick with that too. I mean, automation, think about it. If you're getting decision fatigue, your employees have a level of decisions to make as well. And they have emails and they have text messages, and a lot of it is repetitive, which is why automation is so phenomenal. Why burn them out on the stupid stuff when that can be automated? They don't need to like type the exact same email that they typed 50,000 times before, So anyways, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, like one of the things that I love is my calendar. I used to have to be going back and forth with people of like, okay, what day and time works good for you? I'm good Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and this, and you go back and forth, and you're trying to make a decision of when's the right time to meet with this person. Now I don't have to make a decision. I literally just say, here's the link to my calendar, schedule a time. I made a decision a long time ago of when I'm available, and then they can just schedule based on that availability. So I don't have to decide every single time someone wants to meet with me, when can I meet with them, right? That's one less decision I have to make. So that calendars is a great way to take, those decisions off your plate. The other thing too is limit your choices, right? So too many options means mental overload. A lot of times when we're trying to make a decision, we try to look at every single possibility of that decision, of every single decision we could make. And then we just, don't know what decision to make because we just have too many options to pick from. So limit your choices down to, okay, these are the most, important or the best choices I could make for this decision. And then forget the rest and then make your decision based on those. Pick from the top 2. Don't give yourself 10 different decisions, 10 different ways or, options in that decision, if you will. And another thing is batch your decisions. So what that means is basically set dedicated times for decision making, right? Set aside those times where it's like, I need to make decisions and this is when I'm going to do it. So maybe maybe it's marketing. You got to approve a bunch of marketing rather than, doing that all throughout the day or across multiple days, fitting it in wherever you can. Just set a time. Okay, this is when I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go over the marketing and I'm going to make my decisions at this time. And guess what? You're probably going to make better decisions because you're focused on that one thing and you can kind of see the whole picture rather than making little decisions, spread out across the week.
And I'll add in, like you said, Troy, a lot of times our best decisions are made in the mornings when we're the most fresh, right? Not right when you're groggy and wake up, but I mean, once you get going and you're at the office and stuff, a lot of good decisions are made then. So maybe that's what you say, I'm going to make these decisions. I'm going to reserve these decisions that like are at the end of the day. Like, let's say it's Monday afternoon or Monday, like right before everyone's about to leave and you got employees coming in, hey, this and that, hey, this, and that's what happens a lot as entrepreneurs. Our employees take up a lot of our time, right? Yeah. And so we make what you maybe do is you say, hey, listen, I'm going to take that down, Slack that to me, email that to me. I'm going to think about it and I'm going to get back to you tomorrow. And so that way tomorrow morning, when you are more fresh in the brain and haven't made all the decisions all that day and you're not cranky and irritated and just ready to go home and you want to see your spouse, you want to see your kids or whatever that is you want to do, you make that decision fresh and in the morning the next day. And people, listen, if you make it fresh and you make the right decision versus a hasty wrong decision, it's always better to wait to do that. Go ahead. Yeah,
exactly. And what we call that protecting your peak hours, right? So know when you are, mentally the sharpest and then schedule those times for you to make your decisions, right? And protect those times from, less important things in your business. Make sure if you've got something that doesn't take a lot of brain power to do, put that in the afternoon when you're tired of making decisions and block off that, your peak hours to make your decisions during that time. And then the final, that's actually number 4. So Trevor got that one just perfect. And then number 5 is, delegate wisely, meaning that you don't have to make every single decision in the business. So you can assign decision-making authority to trusted team members. And, again, they're trusted. You need to know that they're going to be able to make the right decision, but hand that off and let them make those decisions so that you can focus on the most important decisions in your business.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Anything else, Trevor, you want to add before we kind of recap?
No, I'll just go into the recap because this was a great episode and I think they get the idea. Decision fatigue drains your energy and it hurts your business. Pretty simple. If you have decision fatigue and you don't want to make any more choices and you just want everyone to leave you alone and you're going to just get into this place of where you want to climb into a dark hole and disappear, right? So we want to make sure that we protect that because actually your brain is, you need to think of it this way, your brain is your most valuable business tool. So don't waste it on deciding what's for lunch. If that is something that is plaguing you, give someone in the company a list of places you love and let them just surprise you every day with lunch. In fact, that's a feature that, DoorDash should do. I just invented $1 billion idea. DoorDash should just have you put in your favorite places and it randomly orders your favorite meals and just gets them delivered every day at whatever time you want. Gosh, DoorDash, I know you're listening because, they take advice from us. Trust me. Every smart business owner does. But there you go. Don't do that, right? So don't waste important decisions on things that don't truly matter. Okay. I kind of took my own version of Steve Jobs. I basically have 4 different colors of shirts and I have 3 different colors of pants. And all I have to decide is, and they all basically match with each other. So I walk in, I grab a shirt, I grab a pair of pants. Yep, that matches, put it on. Right. I mean, I guess my biggest thing is my shoes usually match my outfits as well. So that's one thing you'll learn about me is I love to have my shoes match with the rest of my outfit. But I mean, big decisions, big decisions, right? All right, guys. Well, what we want you to do for homework today, pick one strategy from what you heard today and implement it this week. Implement it this week. And then you know what? Come back and let us know. Let us know what you chose. Post it on social media, make it a comment on the YouTube channel, share it through email. I don't care, text us, but let us know what you implemented this week that helped reduce decision fatigue. That would be awesome. We would love to hear that. So, but just take one thing from this week and implement it, and you guys will absolutely help protect the most important thing in your business, which is your mind. Because of you, the business exists. Remember that. All right. No healthy you, no healthy business. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we just, again, the support is phenomenal. I think we just rolled over. I think we're like close to 800,000 views now on YouTube. Just running towards that 1 million views, I'm hoping here, So we're excited about that. We've got a lot of interaction and good stuff on the Instagram and the Facebook, and our team does a great job at that. We might even have a TikTok now and a tiki talkie, whatever. I'm not cool like that. So anyways, guys, keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, and we will check you guys out on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.